Yeah guys, today I want to share a few products with you which I have lying here for a while that are usually lower value items which I either requested or got sent. And given I'm just recovering from some surgery, had to cancel all my trips which were planned now, my Simpson desert trip, my Cape York trip, so that gives me something to do. Not long ago I came across on Facebook about someone advertising Gluetread, and he said that you actually could fix a sidewall tire repair with a patch with this system. To be honest, I wasn't quite convinced about that, because I have mucked around with tire patches and so on, because a good repair kit, especially for my desert stuff, is super important. And I tried for quite some time to get good tire patches, but that proved to be very difficult. So when I saw these on Facebook, I was very skeptical, but I thought I'm going to do a bit more research, and I did. And this is very well used in the US, in America, and it really seems to work. So I contacted the Australian distributor from Gluetread, and he was kind enough to send me one of their expedition kits and also a few extra patches, and I have to say they are super solid. I mean, that really could work. Also with some extra adhesive, and again, all my research, and there is quite a bit on social media about these in the US, not in Australia, because it's fairly new here. It really seems to work. So what I want to do today, because obviously I haven't used it yet, I just want to unpack it and let's give you a first impression, and then it's going to go in my car, and obviously I will use it the next time I have a flat. So let's have a look. This is the expedition kit. And what do we have in that kit? 3 packs adhesive, and I guess that is the glue you need to put these patches on. So this stuff is extra. He sent me that in addition, and this is what's in the pack. So 3 packs of adhesive. Then we have 2 smaller patches. Put that all over here. Very important, the handles. When I actually saw them on the picture, I nearly said I don't want them because they look like plastic, but I was very wrong. So they are not plastic, they are aluminium belted. Yeah, very solid, not super big, but yeah, very solid. And that's okay, because with plastic handles you need to apply quite a bit of force, and I've seen a plastic handle break and the metal pin go through someone's hand. Not very nice. So I would never use a kit unless I have to, which is out of plastic, and I certainly would never recommend one. But I have no issues here. That is aluminium and steel. It seems like very solid as my first impression. So yeah, these are the normal tire plugs which you would use with these. You thread them through here. First you're gonna, rough up the hole a bit, fit one of the plugs through here, push it in, and yeah, that is really where I want also some new ones. Okay, so then we have some bigger tire patches. Okay, again, very solid here. So we have the smaller ones, we have the bigger ones. Then we have actually a manual that is, I guess, helpful. That's for the sidewall patches. Yeah, apparently it bonds also very quick. The whole thing takes only around 3-4 minutes, which is brilliant, because we fixed tires in the past sidewalls with gasket sealant. That's the only thing we had, and it took a long time and it didn't really last for too long, though it did get us out of it. So then we have a few spare valves and valve caps and a valve remover. So that is very good. Then you have our sandpaper. Yeah, you will need that. Good sandpaper to roughen up the tire and the patches. So that is good. And then we have some emergency tire valves. I have to look exactly how they work, but I think the beauty with these ones is that you can use them from the outside. Usually the valve, you have to remove the tire, feed it through from the inside, but these emergency valves, they work from the outside. Yeah, so you have to remove the old valve, pull that out, then fully insert emergency valve, maintain pressure and twist the lug, and then air up the tire. So that will get you out of trouble without taking the whole carcass off the wheel, and that is quite handy. I've heard of them and I've heard that they work but never used them, so good to have them in the kit. Yeah, so that is everything in this expedition kit, which, yeah, that is pretty damn good. I mean, the plugs 2, 4, 6, so 12. I could probably use a few more of them. Sometimes you use 2, 3 in a hole, but I guess that's mainly in sidewalls. I guess now with the patches here, that would do it. However, obviously, whether you can actually apply the patch will depend on where the hole is, because on my mud terrain tires I have side grabbers and so on, and there will be quite a few spots where I can't use the patch but still would have to use the tire plugs here. But look, very keen, or I hope I don't need to test it, but if I have to, very keen to test it and see how that goes. The kit certainly is very well thought out. It's not too big, so it fits everywhere. The valves are handy. The adhesive, which seems to be double sealed, quite important because otherwise they used to dry up after a while. So while I haven't tested that, I hope they last a bit longer. Yeah, so quite keen to put that in the car, that set. And then obviously over the years I will keep you posted. But again, all my initial research, that should work very well. Otherwise I wouldn't have contacted them and asked them for one. I probably need a few more of these though. Yeah, that's not a huge amount. The bag is also nice here, you know, not too big. You can hang it up somewhere. Yeah, we'll see how that all works, and I keep you posted. Yeah guys, Konrad from Special Adventures.de, German touring company who tours all over Europe, or does take-along tours all over Europe, actually, and outside of Europe, Africa and so on, worldwide. He gave me one of these OutIn coffee makers to test, and I have never used it, so that's going to be the first time. It's extracting the coffee now, as we can hear. So it's pretty much just a short, really, a very short. Not that much coffee in here. Mind you, obviously I didn't put too much water in. I drip a little bit. So short espresso in the morning that does give you. That's where it ends. It's not hot. It's warm, drinkable. I mean, yeah, it's alright. You don't have to wait for it, but it's also a fairly cold day. Now guys, reasonably cold winter day, 10 degrees outside. I've got some Nespresso capsules, so I want to see how that works. Never tried that before. And I also want to see how hot the coffee is when it comes out at that kind of temperatures. Unit is fully loaded. Gonna put some water in now. And to be honest, this water is out of a tap, so it's not going to be really that cold. I think it has to be like this. Okay, and switch it on. I've got the Kyweets thermal camera here. The emissivity is set to water, so I think it should work. Actually, outside temperature here 14 degrees. So let's see. So coffee is brewing. The temperature was, according to these, 70.3%. So that is not too bad actually. 69. Yeah, guys, my final thoughts about the OutIn Espresso coffee maker. And yeah, I definitely will keep it. I have used it a bit more now also around the house, especially with the Nespresso capsules. And I think for ground coffee, far too much effort for me. However, with the Nespresso capsules, I think it is actually a pretty good option, especially for shorter trips. I think I'm gonna actually put it in my Hilux, or take it at least my Hilux for all the short technical trips. That gives me the option to quickly make a coffee. It's just a pity that you can't really pre-fill it with water, because again, that lid, I wouldn't trust it. But that is just a minor inconvenience. Would I purchase it? I'm still not sure. And the main reason why not is really that it has a NMC lithium chemistry, and that will degrade reasonably fast, depending on how often you use it, obviously. But if you make 3-4 coffees a day, you could actually go through one cycle a day. And I would say it lasts you then 2 years or something like that. Unfortunately, OutIn does not provide exact cycle figures. I have it now. I like it a fair bit more than at the beginning, especially with the Nespresso capsules. Have you one of these in your car or at home? What is your experience with it? Let me know in the comment section. Next product I would like to have a look at is another light. If you follow my channel, you know I love LED lights and constantly try new ones out. And over the last year, I really have gotten to like these extendable camp LEDs, and I have purchased a few of them. Let me show you. I have a few more of them, and they make an appearance in my videos. So yeah, I really like them. But what I found, they are often hard to get by, often sold out, and are quite expensive unless you purchase them direct from China. So I was quite intrigued when I saw that Kilos Gear has one of these camp lights. And again, if you follow my channel, you saw that the Kilos Grand Peak high back chair has pushed my Helinox chair off the throne of most comfortable lightweight camping chairs. So when I saw Kilos has also one of these LED lights, I asked them whether they would send me one, and they certainly did. And that is what I have here. While I haven't used it yet really in the field, I just used it around the house. I have 4 lights from different brands which have a similar functionality. So I think I can evaluate it quite well. The only thing I can speak about yet is about the longevity. So let's have a look at the features and specs of these lights, because it really sets itself apart from all the other telescopic lights I have. The Kilos Gear Rover LED camp light caught my attention because I've been using similar extendable camp lights for the past year, and they've become an essential part of my setup. This is a first impression review. I haven't taken this specific unit into the field yet, but the features look promising. What sets this light apart is its telescopic tripod base that extends up to 93 centimeters. The built-in tripod legs have reflective panels for visibility, magnetic feet for metal surfaces, and diamond-shaped holes for securing with camping pegs. It's a solid foundation that addresses the main limitation of traditional lanterns. The 4 foldable light panels can be individually angled transforming this from a standard lantern into a directional light source. You've got torch mode for brilliant white light, plus 3 main lighting modes: bright white, warm daylight, and colored options, including blue, red, and green. The orange setting is particularly useful for reducing flying insects around camp. Where this really shines is cooking preparation. Having used similar lights, I can tell you the difference between a lantern sitting on your table versus elevated lighting coming from above is significant. The extended height puts the light where you need it without casting shadows from your hands or cookware. The power bank functionality adds practical value. USB-C input and standard USB output means you can charge devices while the light's running. The base features mood lighting with a multicolor glowing effect, and you can adjust light direction for upward or downward facing. Build quality feels solid for field conditions, though the fold-out light panels will likely be the weak point over time. It's water resistant and designed for harsh outdoor use, but durability will be proven in the field. The price isn't cheap, but frankly everything has become incredibly expensive these days. Many no-name telescopic lights are in a similar price bracket without the adjustable main light panels, so at least you're getting additional functionality for your money. Beyond camping, this works well for mechanical repairs where you need adjustable overhead lighting, emergency backup power, or even as atmospheric lighting at home. The versatility justifies the investment, assuming it holds up to regular use. I'll be putting this through proper field testing over the coming months and will report back on long-term durability and real-world performance. I did test the battery longevity with both the bottom mood light and top 4 lights running on orange setting. The unit ran for a whopping 26 hours before switching off, which is quite impressive for this type of light. Yeah, again, that was only a quick overview. You will see the light appear on many of the upcoming trip videos, and I will keep you up to date. But so far, I really like this light, and some of the features it had, I really can see me using. And I would say at present it is the telescopic camp light which I would recommend. By the way, I do have an affiliate code for it, like I have for most other lights. This one is directly from Kilos, so not from Amazon, which I usually use. So if you're in the market for one, please use my affiliate code and I get a small kickback which helps me making these videos for you. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please keep in mind this is a self-funded channel, so I would greatly appreciate if you could help me out by sharing, liking and subscribing. And if you can, please consider head over to Patreon or buy me a coffee, and with the equivalent of a cup of coffee or 2 per month, you can really help me making these videos. Thanks a lot for watching and see you along the tracks.